So today I'm going to build a full marketing funnel in only about 30 minutes, only using AI tools. I'm going to show you that what people call AI slop is really the new way to create MVPs. And so let's start the timer. Okay, and so here are a few parameters that I'm going to take for this challenge. So let's assume that I'm a personal finance coach. So that's my industry. For the funnel, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. It's just going to be a opt-in page with the lead magnet. That's going to be some kind of free stuff that we're going to ideate here. And that's going to send them to a thank you page. That's also going to be a tripwire page where I'm going to upsell a low ticket product. So my flagship offer, I'm a personal finance coach. So it's going to be to sell my personal finance coaching program. And the tripwire is just going to be a personal finance audit that will then, potentially interest them in working with me to actually implement all the stuff that we uncover. So that's the plan. And the first step is going to be to come up with a good idea for the lead magnet. Okay, so I think what I want to do here is I want to run a Gemini deep research because I want to get a bunch of data into that market and find some good ideas for that lead magnet, because having a really good idea for that lead magnet is going to be really what makes or break the funnel. So I'm going to go and start a new deep research, and let me come up with a prompt. Okay, so here we go. So I don't want to get too complicated with the prompt, but here is sort of a basic thing to start gathering that data. And I'm going to go ahead and launch this. So what I'm looking for here is going to be a lead magnet that sort of meets my target audience at their current level of awareness. Now, obviously, when it comes to personal finance, there's going to be sort of a range of financial literacy from people. And I want to make sure that I hit them at the right moment and sort of join the conversation that's already in their mind. That's more marketing stuff than AI stuff, but just to sort of give you the thought process that I have here. So we're going to start the research. And it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think it's worth spending a few minutes on doing this. Okay, so here we have the results. And actually, to be honest, I rarely actually read the whole report. First of all, I don't really have time for this challenge, but really what I want is just for this report to be in the context window and then continue prompting to get the answers that I actually want. So here I'm just going to follow up in the same window and ask what a good lead magnet would be based on that research and based on the following framework. Okay, so here is the prompt. Again, it's just based on that research. Give me some good angles and ideas for the lead magnet. And I want this to be something that comes before they become solution oriented. So again, back to this sort of awareness pyramid. This is what I'm looking for to sort of get on the higher level of that pyramid. Okay, so what is done here is that it has sort of ranked the different level of awareness and different sort of solutions based on that. I mean, I guess a good lead magnet would be sort of a budget calculator, but I feel like that's kind of boring and it's something that they can find easily and they probably have done before. What I'm thinking here is something that will talk to them about, how much money they make compared to other people their age and in the same industry. I feel like that's something that would really stop people when they're scrolling through Instagram. Let's say if I run traffic with paid ads, it would be something that they would be interested to know is just how much money am I making relative to other people? Am I doing well? Am I not doing well? That's, this sort of comparing thing is something I feel like would attract a lot of people to check out my lead magnet. So let's add it here. So it would be how much money, something around this topic of how much money am I making compared to others in my industry / age. I think we're going to go with that. Now let's just think a second about the vehicle for that lead magnet. I just know that I want this to be a bit different and not, something like a PDF or a video that's not really interactive. I want to do something a bit better, and also because I don't really have the time to create those things for a challenge. And so I'm thinking that obviously the point of this lead magnet for me is to also sell them into my coaching for personal finance. So I want to find something that sort of solves the problem, but also sort of unveils other things that they might be interested to explore with me in my coaching. And so I want to make that connection after I've helped them with their initial problem, which in this case is just to become aware of how much money they're making, if they're making enough compared to other people in their industry and at their age. And I want this to be some sort of tool or mini app that they can interact with, because I know that I can be building this in Lovable pretty easily. And so if I really had time, what I think I would do is to create some sort of personal finance calculator where, you input a bunch of numbers, what you make, how much you spend, how much you invest, and it would sort of forecast your net worth in the next few years. I think that could be a really good tool and a good lead magnet. I just don't have the time to build this right now in this challenge. So I think what I'm going to go with is some kind of quiz funnel, which will also kind of help me segment them and offer the most relevant solution later on into the funnel. And so this quiz would collect a bunch of information from them and sort of give them the result, which is how much money are they making compared to other people in their industry. And then on the result page of that quiz, that's when I can offer my low ticket offer, which I've talked about before, which is the personal finance audit. So they take the quiz, I collect some data, I can segment them for later follow-up marketing. And then on the result page, they have the results, how much they're making compared to other people. And I also can offer the audit to sort of help them, sort of take the next step in their journey. I think that's what I'm going to go with. So now let's go ahead and create that quiz. And for this, I'm just going to go in ChatGPT and ask it to create this. So here is my prompt. I'm building a quiz that will be used as a lead magnet. This quiz should collect a little bit more information about themselves, including their email address, job title, industry, and country, and other things. That will help me to then give them a range for the average salary of people in their situation so they can compare. Don't make this quiz too long, but collect what's needed. I don't want this to be like 10 questions or anything, so let's see what it comes up with. And I'm going to use 3.0 for this. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I'm just going to remove the one about the size of the company because I think this is more aimed at sort of the average employee, not really business owners. But the rest I'm pretty happy with. So I'm just going to go and take those questions and start building the quiz, which I'm going to do in Lovable. And this is probably my favorite AI tool, Lovable. So that's going to be enabling me to create that quiz in a matter of minutes, and I already have all of the info, so it's going to be pretty simple. And I'll tell you what I actually do for the prompt in Lovable, and something that I am missing from them, which is that they don't really have a good way to rewrite the prompt for me. So another platform that does this really well is really their direct competitor, which is Bolt. And Bolt, when you give it a prompt, you have this option to enhance the prompt, which is going to make it much better for, giving additional details for what I'm looking for and giving me a really good first result. So I'm just going to use Bolt to rewrite the prompt, take this, and then put it into Lovable. Let's see a few things that I probably need to edit here. So I'm just going to copy paste the quiz components, the questions that I have. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. And I just attached a screenshot of some data that I found about, average salary, depending on the industry and age. And that's going to be sort of the database that Lovable uses to then give the user the response with how they compare. So let's go ahead and try this. If I had more time, obviously I would be creating a super base with all of that data, but I don't really have time for this challenge. So hopefully the screenshot of that is enough. Okay, so while this is running, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start putting together the copy for the opt-in page. That's going to be for this lead magnet. And that's going to be the page that I drive traffic to and then deliver the lead magnet, which is going to be the quiz results and where I'm going to offer my personal financial audit. So I'm going to need marketing for all of those pages. And for this, I'm going to use ChatGPT. Okay, so pretty simple prompt here. Let's see what it gives me. Okay, that's a pretty decent start. If I had more time, I would probably go and tweak a bunch of that copy, but for now, it's going to be fine. Obviously, we don't have testimonials right now, but I could replace this once I had tested the tool. And let's also create the copy for the thank you page. That's going to give them the results and also upsell to my low ticket item. All right, so we're going to go with this. Okay, so Lovable is done. Let's see what it's given me. It looks pretty good. So let's try it out a little bit. Company size. I forgot to tell it to remove the company size. I'm going to do that. Okay, that's looking really good for a first try. I don't think I really want to tweak it. The only thing that I'll tweak is just the questionnaire a little bit, but I think this is really cool for someone to get for free. We're going to add all of the copy that we created to sort of package all of this, but this is a pretty good start. Okay, perfect. So it's removed the question now. And so by default, it created this whole sort of homepage for it. But again, I want to use my own copy that I've created in ChatGPT. So I'm going to ask to substitute this. And I want to create a good graphic for this lead magnet, something that I can use on the opt-in page, but also something that I may use in the ads that I run to this page. And initially for this, I was thinking about using something like Midjourney to create a quick graphic. But I'm thinking to actually try Era, which is this new AI tool that I've sort of been playing around with that is really, really cool to create those kind of graphics. So I'm just going to give it a try here and see what it gives me. This is sort of the one-shot first prompt. But this is really impressive and looking pretty good. Definitely better than what I would get. Just to show you a comparison, I had tried ChatGPT separately just to see what it comes up with, but it didn't really look that good. And I really like that the error animation is just looking a lot smoother and something that I can implement in my page. And because this is a video, I don't really have a lot of time right now to try to find a host it and then put it onto my Lovable page. So I'm just going to keep this on the site for now and say that I would use this for the ads that I run, but it can still be part of my funnel because I think it's pretty cool looking. Okay, so Lovable has finished implementing my copy for this first opt-in page, which is looking pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and remove this thing here because, privacy, we don't really have any privacy protection in place for this tool right now. So here we go. We just had the 3 in a row. That's much cleaner. Okay, so I tried to make a few adjustments because the interaction wasn't quite what I wanted for some of those elements. But now I'm facing a few errors that I need to fix. I guess it's really part of the challenge. And if you try to do this yourself, then you're going to run into some of those issues. No need to stress. Usually it's pretty easy to troubleshoot. I'm also just double checking on mobile. It's looking pretty good. I want to have this button here above the fold, which seems to be the case here. Okay, so it seems to be good now. Let's move on to the result page, which is going to be also where I upsell my low ticket item. I'm just going to grab my copy here. And I guess the last thing that I would need to do if I want this to be fully viable and functional would be to create, a Supabase integration where I would store all of the information that they give me, so all of the answers to the quiz, but obviously, most importantly, their name and email, so that I can put them into an email marketing sequence and upsell them to my program. Okay, and I think we have the copy that we wanted here at the bottom to upsell, so I'm going to call it time. And that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty cool. Now, if we look at the timer, my deep research finished at 1:49. It is currently 2:22, so it took me a little bit over half an hour. But if we're going to be honest, I've spent most of that time waiting for the Google Deep Research. I've spent a lot of time waiting for Lovable to just give me something back. And that's where I've spent most of my time. Like actually building something was pretty quick and I didn't have to do too much. I could have done something on the side if I wanted to, but that's really the end timer if we're going to be completely honest. But I just wanted to show you that in very little time, you can have those MVP funnel ready to go or anything else in your business just using AI tools. Now, is it perfect? Of course not. There's a few things that, we would need to be able to push this live and a bit of tweaking, but we have a really good first version in just about half an hour. And it's a really good exercise to only use those tools to create something that, it would have taken me a few hours if I had to do it manually and with the sort of old tech stack that we're used to. And I think another type of those AI tools that's really going to help fast track the way that we do everything pretty much are AI browsers. And I made a whole dedicated video to sort of dive deeper into this topic if you're interested in looking into that. So go ahead and watch that right now. But if you just want to keep up to date with the best practices for AI automations and AI workflows, then go ahead and follow my free newsletter. That's going to be in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.